one of the great restaurants in America, no question about it, to eat. Right now, a meeting at 3 is about as good as you're going to get anywhere, and that's from Sisters today. They're open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then again on Sunday for your convenience. And, of course, just right now no meals are being provided on at night or on the weekend, except on Sunday for lunch. But the food is outstanding. I've gotten mine to go the last 2 or 3 times I've gone out there, and it's very well done. You just pick up the phone and order what you want and go by and pick it up. And of course, the food is as good as always at Sister's Restaurant. I want to mention also Jean's Flowers on South Grundy Street, and they can mail flowers or your package most anywhere in the world today from Jean's Flowers. And of course, Piggly Wiggly and our locations on North 39th Street and also on the bypass in Troy. I picked up some corn and some peas just yesterday. Are you on yet? Mike Amos calling in from Grayton. We'll have him in here in a moment. We've got several things to talk to you about. Of course, Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep on the bypass right here in Troy has got another huge sale going on, and on Dodge Chrysler's Jeep and Ram trucks today at their location on northern bypass right here in Troy. And you can't beat, I promise you're not going to beat a deal like that. As Mike Amos, if you just look up, we got you. There he is right there from Grayton Beach. Mike, right now we're all head. Move up a little bit with your head. There we go, there we go. And of course, Mike Amos, good morning. How you doing?
Here we go. Now we can...
How you doing, Mike? How's it going? Oh, here we go. Right here, this is what, ladies and gentlemen, right here on our cable, we're able to bring Mike Amos in here live with a picture of his pretty face this morning. Good morning to you. How you doing?
Hi, morning.
What's going on in the world of sports down at Grayton Beach, Florida?
There's a lot of beach volleyball going on, a lot of, snorkeling, paddle tennis, all kinds of fun stuff going on.
I bet it is. Still a big crowd of people down there?
Yeah, way too many people down here. It's probably the craziest packed I've ever seen it since we've been living down here, and we've been here for, I guess, coming up on about 17 months.
Yeah. Of course, I'm taking off my mask this morning, and of course I'm wearing it so to remind all of you to wear your mask when you're outside the premises of your own home. And of course, you do a lot of outdoor activity in your backyard, or I reckon some people might call it your front yard. Has it been a pretty good summer?
Yeah, it's been good. We try to get out and walk and exercise every day. Probably need to try to do a little bit more, but around where I live, there's just tons of bicycles and skateboards and kids and adults, and of course everybody paddle boards down here too. That's a big exercise. There's a lot of paddle boards.
Let me ask you this. I see that, and of course that's you see a board that looks like a surfboard, but it's a little bit bigger than a surfboard, and it weighs a lot more than a surfboard does, doesn't it?
Yeah, you see people probably 250, 300 pounds on them, so yeah, they must weigh a lot.
I know, so what I'm saying, they can get up on there, and a lot of people go all the way out in the Gulf, don't they?
Oh yeah, they go out there and come back and tell me how many sharks they see out there.
Are they most of the time standing up, or do they sit? Are they able to sit down if they want to, or what?
Most people stand up. You've got a strap attached to your ankle.
Yeah. Is it dangerous?
I don't think it's dangerous on a calm day. It could always be dangerous if you fell off, I guess.
Yeah, and you got to be realistic. You can't go out there with a bunch of heavy waves going. Is that right?
Yeah, but a lot of people go out there with like little kids and go out there with dogs, all kinds of stuff.
I want to mention that the 4th of July sale is going on right now at Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram trucks on the bypass in Troy. They've got Renegades, Mike, for $179 a month. You can get behind one of those beautiful Jeeps. last week was Jeep Week at the beach, and there was one place that had over 750 people brought their Jeeps in. There, if you'll pay close attention, you see a lot of Jeeps on the road in America today.
Yeah, it's a popular driving vehicle. See a lot of those. See a lot of Ram trucks.
Well, I got a Ram truck myself, and I noticed right now for $345 per month, you can drive away in a 2020 Ram crew cab, and that's right now going on. And come on in. We got Lee coming in here, Mike, with a cake. Look, this is the baker Forrest Lee. We've got I wish our cameras can get all of this morning. As Forrest Lee comes in here with my dessert this morning. You've been up baking cakes all morning?
Up at 5 o'clock, I am the rum master.
And of course, Forrest Lee, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, whoa! And I'm going to show this to you this morning. Here comes everybody coming down the street. But look at this cake this morning. What do you call this? A pecan swirl or what?
Now that is a rum cake.
A rum cake.
I got that
What kind of rum is it?
Bacardi, the only kind.
Yeah. And of course, we brought him in here, and he's the chef today, Chef Forrest Lee. And of course,
we're gonna have Chef Max Howell on in about 20 minutes.
No, he's not coming on today. He's coming on tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Troy's added 2 more football games for UAB. They're going to play UAB in 2032 and in 2033.
I hope all you folks that are living then will enjoy the game. I hope those of you that will be living. If I live...
That's only 12 and 13 years away, so you'll be 85 and 86.
Yeah, I know it. You're right. I'm eating some of this cake this morning. It's delicious, Forrest.
It's a rum cake. The recipe is from Mrs. Ben Fowler. She was a member of Raleigh, Salem Baptist Church in the Raleigh community just outside of Manchester, Warm Springs, Georgia. Her grandson Roy is the fellow who introduced us, but I'm making a big rum cake. I've got these little small bunt cans that I made 4 this morning, just like that.
Did you wake everybody up knocking those dishes around this morning?
Still knocked out.
I can hear Jody right now saying, "Get out of that kitchen." But ladies and gentlemen, I am eating away right now with some rum cake.
I got one for Steve Kent. Got one for our Oregon Duck, Scott.
Scott, you got one for Scott. Oh boy.
Well, Bill Rice, you're not here. I have one for you.
Yeah.
I'll make you another one day. So Harris, go get
why don't you save a little bit for your grandkids coming tomorrow night?
I know, I will.
I got another you can take with them.
I will. Well, I'm not going to be able to eat all of this right now, I promise you, but this is good. I love the pecans, too. Did you already have them?
Those are Whaley pecans.
Oh, yeah, no question about it.
Are they pecans or pecans?
Pecans. But, I never heard of a pecan in my life until all these Yankees started coming down here. I got to be careful what I say, Hunter.
Oh, yeah, you're in trouble. For Yankees.
Yeah. Boy, this is good.
The Yankees are your favorite team.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. This is real good cake.
Well, thank you.
And
Just came out.
This came out of Forrest's kitchen. Run, Forrest, run! Run, Forrest, run! This is delicious cake, and it's still hot out of the oven. How long ago was it that you pulled it out of the oven?
Oh, about 20 minutes.
Boy, if you want a piece, come on into our studio, and we'll let you have a piece. But it is good, and we appreciate you, Forrest Lee, bringing to it. And I mean, it is big time good. Now, I know you do this cake, but now you're famous for your strawberry cakes. Is that right?
Well, I've done strawberry cakes before. I've done pound cakes, lime cakes.
What are your favorites?
Well, I get the hardest to do is the strawberry.
Yeah, it is. I bet.
You know, I haven't had any
Fresh strawberries.
Fresh strawberries when they're on sale. Now, I have done one peach bundt cake last year, right before the peaches went out of season. But I didn't taste that when I gave that away, and I forgot who I gave it to.
I'm going to tell you what, I've eaten a third of it already myself, and it's really, really good. And
We
you
love
can see
the strawberry cake from Edgar's. Birmingham. We used to buy that all the time. I don't know if you've ever been to Edgar's, but they have some really good cakes.
Yeah, but it's delicious. A lot going on. I say a lot going on. Let me tell you the truth. Not a lot going on in sports except one thing, and I know it's broken my daughter's heart, Rebecca, who's a huge tennis fan, is all these tennis players are coming down with the virus, Mike. What do you think?
I hadn't heard that. I'll have to read up on that.
Djokovic has the virus. His wife has the virus. There's several people in the tennis world that have come down with the virus. And the virus, I'm telling you what, the virus doesn't look like it's going anywhere right now.
I think it's a lot just to do with what's been going on with people traveling to the beaches and a lot of people protesting throughout the country. I mean, it's just a lot of people not wearing masks and been, side by side with each other. So I think maybe by, mid-July we'll be back to normal, I would hope.
Boy, that's good.
We were finally starting to come down on numbers. I mean, you were averaging like 15,000 cases a day. Deaths total has been gone to 300, and now you got a spike. So,
well,
there's now been 4 deaths in Pike County.
4 deaths now in Pike County, and Florida is really being hit hard. I thought that was a good.
A lot of the big cities in Florida are mandatory masks now. It's not going to happen down here because there's no mayor or city council. All you have is the Walton County Commission, but that's not going to happen down here.
Well, another thing too, we're testing. We're out testing everybody in the world, but we've got more cases than anybody in the world too.
No, the most cases in the world now are in Brazil.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Well, give us some totals.
You need to look at Brazil and you need to look at India. There's going to be a lot of more cases there, a lot more deaths.
Well, I tell you, and everybody's talking about playing football, and the heck with football. I love it as much as anybody, but I'm concerned about human life, what I'm concerned about.
See, you don't understand. The biggest thing is people are asymptomatic. People show no signs. People don't even realize they have it.
But I hear that being asymptomatic, you can still get a lot of other things other than the virus. Have you heard that?
The only thing I've heard that you can maybe lose, your sense of smell. That's about it.
Well, that's just some of the things that we've heard this morning.
I mean, when it's all said and done, I mean, just like they said yesterday, if Alabama doesn't play a football season, in Tuscaloosa alone, they'll lose I think I read $2 billion.
In Tuscaloosa, Alabama?
Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as far as revenue.
Man, oh man, that's a lot of money. No question about it. Mike Amos.
Troy's season tickets. I mean, I think they're selling more tickets right now than they were this time last year.
They really are. And a guy called me yesterday. He said, "Should I do it? Should I do it?" I said, "Well, as long as they promise you that if they don't go on, they'll reimburse you. That's the thing." And
maybe we could have Brent Jones or Kyle George on. They're doing a lot of stuff on.
I would like to. They got their own little program. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, everybody's got a little program.
Yeah, I know, that's right. And of course, people are real excited to know that we're going to play UAB in 2032 and 2033. That's big news, Mike.
Well, Troy's going to play in 5 years, starting I think in 2028. So everybody wants to renew that series. Of course, they'll now be playing in a new 55,000 brand new stadium in downtown Birmingham as well.
I prayed to God that I can live that long and be able to go to the ball game, and this will be a free society that we live in when that time comes around.
Well, it's one of those things where I know South Alabama's going to start playing UAB on a regular basis as well. So
they definitely need to play. All of them definitely need to play, and
Troy will be playing Southern Miss a lot as well. So that's good to have.
Yeah. What's the deal on Southern Miss? Have got quite a few with them already?
Yeah, Troy does.
Well, that's good. So next 15 years we're going to play them 4, 5, 6 times or something, or what?
Well, the relationship with Jeremy McClain and Brent Jones, I'm sure we're going to play them on all sports.
Yeah. Troy's basketball team has finally finalized their roster, their 2020-2021 roster. And they've added a young man from Pike Liberal Arts, Mike. He's been invited to walk on, and that's Nick O'Brien, the sharp-shooting guard from Pike Liberal Arts. is a walk-on at Troy. So I'm sure he and his father, who's a good friend of mine, out at Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, definitely have to be elated to see their son Nick O'Brien go from a private school here in Troy, Alabama, to play for the Trojans. And that fills out a roster, Mike.
Let's be honest, he's going to have a hard time playing. Troy's got probably the greatest signing class they've ever had in the history of Troy, and then maybe one of the best in the Sun Belt.
Yeah, you know.
Tuck's on that team.
Yeah, he sure is, and he has not gone anywhere. Tuck, they like Tuck, and I don't know if he's a scholarship player or not.
No, he can walk on.
But right now, when the final guy that comes in here under Scott Cross, but the last guy that they signed was McQuail Bryant, a Troy native, and Troy native, of course, Nick O'Brien. But tell us about this McQuail Bryant, Mike. Are you familiar with him?
I hadn't read anything about that.
It says the Trojans added to their 2021 roster with the arrival of McQuail Bryant. And he is, after a successful career at Riverview High School in Sarasota, Florida. Bryant is a 6'3" guard, averaging 10 points a game. And also the year before, he averaged 5 points a game. Bryant also added 3.5 rebounds and 2 assists. We are very excited about McQuail Bryant. Will be joining our basketball family, Cross said. McQuail is another extremely high-character player that will help us build and maintain a championship culture here at Troy. McQuail is a guard. How many guards do they have already, Mike? He's a good shooter and can handle the ball, and he can take it to the basket, and he's a very good instinct player. And then, of course, O'Brien, the kid from Pike Liberal Arts walk-on, is included first ever state championship game he played in, and is a very good outside shooter and good defensive player. He'll be good on their roster, no question. So the final guys here, Mike, that the Trojans will be bringing to town is Antoine Burnett, Landale Gafford, Miles Mendez, Duke Miles, Rory Pantofluff, Kiefer Punter, Christian Turner, and Cam Woods. And the newcomers so include forward Zay Williams, who was already there, and Leffridge and Desmond Williams as well, along with Nick Stampy and Mahale Waters. And that gives you the entire, not pronunciated right in many cases, but that's your list, your roster for the 2021 season. How about that?
One of those kids played at Hewitt-Trussville, I believe.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hewitt-Trussville has like this kid, a kid who's going to graduate at Hewitt-Trussville. He'll be a senior next year. He's wanting to be Mr. Basketball and Mr. Football in the same year. I think it's Jaquavius Quincy.
Yeah, exactly.
But everybody wants him. LSU, Clemson, Alabama, Auburn, the whole country wants him. And he wants to be a two-sport athlete in college.
Yeah, what does Mike need to do there? We got Mike Amos on our screen.
That's 10 newcomers to the basketball program.
I've never seen a team built this fast.
Only guys they got coming back are Zay Williams, Jacavian Leffridge, Desmond Williams, Nick Stampley, and Kyle Waters. So that's 13 scholarship players and 2 walk-ons.
Yeah, exactly. Giving it a little report, and we'll come back on that in just a few moments. But I want to mention now, Pike County has 366 cases, so that total keeps rising, and with 4 deaths. So Pike County is definitely not out of the woods by any means. Looking over at Butler County and Greenville, again, their figures go up, 579. We've got Coffee County right down the road in Enterprise, 315. We've got Covington County now is risen to 238. Now, we've been talking about this all for the last 3 to 4 weeks or months. Yeah, I don't know how many months we've been in this thing, but it was if you go ahead and get them to have a shot one day to clear all of this up. That's what they were talking about yesterday. But right now, the cases, we need even more, as many people as we have that are going in and having tests done, which is great. But it's giving us a lot of information. But at the same time, our number of cases continues to rise.
I think it's because more people are being.
There are not as many death guys out there. What is your feeling there, Mike? What are your last figures on that?
Well, I mean, deaths were up yesterday. Cases were around 24,000. Deaths were up around 700 yesterday.
And that's nationwide?
Nationwide, yeah.
Yeah.
They have been down as low as 200 this week, though, and 300.
Boy, and that was nationwide. Boy, that would be a huge thing, no question about it.
Well, I mean, you got to remember, it used to be 2,000 deaths a day. So we've come down a lot. I don't know if all the new cases, how many of these people, unfortunately will die. I'm not sure. So. Right
now, we have 854 deaths. Is that right? In-state deaths, is that right? 854.
That sounds right.
And of course, tested in the state of Alabama, 353,611 tested. I haven't seen a test site, and I wouldn't know how to get to a test site if I wanted to. Where are these? Here in Pike County.
Yeah, you get a test.
All right, well,
people are getting tested.
Well, where do you go?
I don't know. You have that number. Why don't you call it?
Who's your doctor? I wasn't
Well, that's right. I reckon you're, yeah.
put you in the right direction.
But it seems like you would have more of a hands-on, say, hey, come line up and get tested instead of having to go through your doctor. Doctors right now are making people sit out in the car until it's their time to be seen. Have you seen that?
Alabama's got 31,000 cases and 864 deaths.
800 out of 31,000 cases. And tell us a little bit about this, finding that you're going in for tests and they find that you have not, it's been negative results. Where do you go from there?
You have negative results?
Yeah, if you had negative results, you were calling it something the other day.
Oh, you're talking about asymptomatic.
Yeah, tell us about asymptomatic. Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, it's basically what the majority of the people have. They have no signs of the virus, have no illness. It's just one of those type of things that, they have to go into quarantine for 10 days, and then they're just back to normal, pretty much. They just want you to stay away from other people because you can still spread the virus and be asymptomatic. That's the biggest problem. A lot of people have it and don't know it, and spread it to other people that it'll affect them, and people will go to the hospital and people could die.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so scary.
But if you're asymptomatic, you can just go on your way of life without any recourse.
Well, I mean, you're supposed to be, quarantined. You're not supposed to be out and about and around other people.
Yeah. For how many days? 10 days?
10 days.
Yeah. Of course, let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen, this is no joke. This right here is no joke. And when I'm at Walmart, everybody should have a mask on. I'm telling you. And I see people all the time without a mask on, and I say to myself, I said, who does he think he is? Does he think he is completely walking around this facility with no chance of catching the virus or anything like that? That's silly, and it's irresponsible for people not to wear a mask.
I know Bill Rice is doing a lot of research, and I mean, I think you're going to see, when this is all said and done, this thing started definitely in December, possibly even earlier than that. I think a lot of people have already had this virus. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've been to plenty of football games and sporting events since this has already started. So if they have football starting in August, I don't think it's going to be any different than when the virus was around back in December and everybody was at bowl games.
Yeah.
How they're going to do schools is going to be interesting. I'm still, they're still like, not saying how they're going to do it, or if they're going to stagger schedules and stagger classes going in. I don't know how they're going to do it at bigger schools.
All I know is they've delayed school, like Troy City schools, I know starts in like August the 24th or like the 3rd,
Yeah.
4th, about the 3rd week of March. And usually the kids have been in school by the 1st week of August.
Yeah, August, yeah.
Yeah, we start school down here August 10th.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, right now the nation rate for the virus every day is about how much, Mike, on an average deaths per day?
I mean, it's been 200 to 300, but yesterday it was up like around 750, I believe.
Well, that's a big jump, and boy, wouldn't you?
Anybody wants to go? All they got to do is go to the World Meter Coronavirus site.
Give it to us again. Give it to us again.
The World Meter Coronavirus site.
All right, and that should be able to give them instant information. Is that right?
Yeah, WORLDOMETERS.info.
Well, that should be good information for people to take a look at this morning. And again, it's the most serious thing out there, this ball stuff. And a friend of mine said, Mike, that's all you think about this time of year is ball. Well, let me tell you this. You're wrong. I'm thinking about life, and I'm thinking about death, and I'm thinking about salvation. Those are the most important thing we can think about right now is death and salvation.
Major League Baseball decided they're going to play yesterday. Major League Baseball is going to play 60 games.
How many?
60, and then they're going to extend the playoffs. So you're talking about a normal 162 game schedule, and they're only going to play 60 games. Is pretty amazing.
You know what?
The players are and the owners are going back and forth, and it's all about money when it comes down to it.
You know, something that baseball is all about, and we talk about them all the time. We talk about the 63 Yankees and the 55 Brooklyn Dodgers and all these teams and their records. And, you know, baseball is full of records. This is going to mess records up quite a bit with just 60 games. You know, like he hit 40 home runs in 60 games. You know, how you going to compute that with records, you know?
Well, they were talking last night on a report that a surprise may come in the playoffs and win it all. That, you know, if it was a typical 162-game schedule, attrition would get some of these teams. But, you know, the first 1 to 60, it depends on how well you do. You may have some surprise playoff winners.
And, you know,
I'll tell you what this comes down to is pitching. Whoever's got the best pitching is going to win this in 60 games.
Yeah. Well, and again, they'll probably play every day, don't you think? They won't have many days off, will
I'm
they?
not sure.
I'm not sure. I'll tell you, it'd be good to have Brian Meadows on to talk to
That's right. And me and Forrest Lee now, I'm going to have to make sure Forrest has had his shot before we go. We're going to drive over to Atlanta and see the Braves. Have you had your shot done? Have you been tested?
I have not.
Do you have any of the symptoms?
I do not.
He's a physical educator. He knows what he's supposed to do. There's Mike Amos calling you from Great Beach.
Were you a physical educator at one time?
I'm retired.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Dad was a PE coach too, weren't you?
Oh, yeah, long time
I
ago.
was in Georgia for about 9 years, and then I was at Charles Simpson Middle School for 16, and then I was at Troy Elementary for 6.2 years.
I was at Charles Simpson Junior High School, and then also I coached at Charles Simpson High School for 3 years, and on some pretty good football teams. What is this about Vic Koenig we're reading about this morning, Mike? What did he do wrong?
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, you don't know.
You go to CBS Sports. And
Y'all got me on camera now, and I can't look at stuff.
Okay, well I hate that. And, but Vic Koenig is in trouble. Forrest, you know about it?
Over something racially?
He had a problem with a player or something. And I had it on in the advertiser this morning. They were talking about it, and we'll just have to find it in a few moments. And of course, Vic Koenig, the former Troy University defensive coordinator,
He's been placed on leave.
He's on leave.
Leave.
amid
Yeah.
allegations of mistreatment.
Yeah, of mistreatment evidently of a player, and hopefully it's nothing that'll endanger his job, because he is one of the top defense coordinators in the country. We'll take him back while we might.
Says he's on administration leave after a player alleged in social media posts that the assistant coach made a series of insensitive remarks, including against Hispanics. Shane Lyons, athletic director, announced the move Tuesday after safety Kerry Martin posted the allegations on his Twitter account about Coning. We want to thank Kerry Martin for having the courage to bring these concerns to light. Lyons said in a statement, "We will not tolerate any form of racism, discrimination, or bias on our campus, including other athletic programs." So we'll see what happens here. But Coning and Brown are, of course, extremely close and very loyal to each other. But, you know, in this time of day and in this time of world, any social media post that's been posted over the last 10 years, people are getting fired and losing their jobs left and right. And I don't know if Big Coning can save his job after this.
I hate that, and I tell you what, the guy that's more concerned than anybody has got to be Coach Brown,
Yeah,
because Coning's as good a defensive coordinator is in this country.
You know, you got to wonder if that staff who he brought up that could be a possible coordinator. I mean, I know Jordan Leslie was a coordinator at Scuba. That's East Mississippi Junior College, and he never was a coordinator at Troy. So I don't know who his coordinator would be.
Yeah. Of course, we're talking sports, so if we've got enough to talk about, and of course, Major League Baseball did approve the 60 games year, or what?
Yeah, that's what I read.
And when will that start? Do you know?
Start date has not been finalized, Jeff.
I know salaries originally total $4 billion have been prorated, reducing pay to $1.48 billion. Well, that's going to make some people mad, isn't it?
Here's your staff at West Virginia. Of course, we got Matt Moore.
Yeah.
Is the assistant head coach and offensive lineman.
You know, I didn't know Matt Moore had come back to West Virginia.
He's there.
Matt Moore left.
He's been there.
Troy as offense coordinator, and then went with Neil, and he was the offense coordinator, offense line coach.
Okay, yeah.
You got a Gerald Parker, offensive coordinator, wide receivers. Chad Scott.
Of course, Chad Scott was a great player at Kentucky, and they were good friends. He came to Troy for a while.
Co-offensive coordinator. Jeff Coons, inside linebacker, special teams coordinator. Jeff Coons.
Yeah.
You got Jamie Ade, defensive backs. Jamil Addae. You got Jordan Leslie, like you mentioned, defensive line.
From Fulton, Mississippi.
Sean Reagan, quarterbacks. Travis Trickett, tight ends, inside receivers. Dante Wright, outside linebackers. Mike Joseph, assistant athletic director and head coach for strength and conditioning. Those are your coaches.
Boy, isn't that amazing how many coaches they got?
But you know, he'll end up probably not being able to find a guy this late, I would say. I think he'll be stuck using somebody on the staff.
Yeah, you're right. And
I'll have to think that there's just probably, if this comes out as far as a PR move, I don't see Conan being able to keep his job.
Yeah. Well, I hate it, and like I said,
a lot of people, you know, Conan. I mean, I think he was a candidate for the Troy job before Lindsey got it.
Yeah. They opened up with Florida State in Georgia. Mercedes-Benz, and then
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Well, surely, I know Vic Coning, and he's not a guy that normally is accused of things like this, you know.
Well, you're talking about a guy that's literally been coaching for probably 30 years plus.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about a major program after major program, so I hate to hear stuff like this, but it's just the way it is right now in society. You know, do you do anything, you know, racially motivated, or anything comes about on social media or calls or texts or just even at practice, you know, you're going to lose your job.
Yeah, no question about it. We'll take, of course, we're talking sports, and wherever you want to talk to us about this morning. I want to mention also with this virus, you know, again, we've got to just be responsible and think about what's going on. And again, you know, Montgomery is in the lead if you want to keep up with those things. with 3,307 cases. Montgomery leads all counties, and you know what happened there, Forrest, was they were, believe it or not, Montgomery was late in testing. And the minute, first of all, the testing was done around, Birmingham, the real populated areas, and Mobile. But when they started testing in the Montgomery area, boy, they really went crazy. Just the casinos alone were hit hard by this epidemic, and a lot of other places where there were people still gathering. The virus was increasing.
Has the hotbed in Auburn slowed down in Lee County?
I tell you,
it's got a lot better. I know a doctor over in Lee County. And,
well, it's 900. For looking at their population, and there are 900 cases, and of course, university town with students coming in and out, and the thing about all of this is, you can go somewhere and like to the beach. And there were thousands of people at the beach. And then when they leave, they go everywhere. They go to the Georgias, the North Carolinas, like our beaches. Tennessee's tags everywhere. Georgia tags everywhere. You see some Louisiana tags, but mostly Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee tags are people.
A lot of Texas.
Yeah, a lot of Texas are coming in here, and then they leave and they go about and they spread out all over Texas. How in the world are you going to keep this virus down with this kind of people going back to their homes from being together arm's length for 2 or 3 weeks?
Well, there again,
yesterday. I was reading something. They said the sunlight, the rays of the sun, if you touch something on the surface, within 30 minutes, the coronavirus is destroyed by the sun rays. So that's good to know for us, touching stuff.
Yeah.
That was a big issue at first, but everybody's worried about touching groceries and wiping down your groceries.
Yeah, you don't see as much. Yeah,
all that turned out not to be true.
You pick up a cucumber.
And another thing, you're exactly right. Touching food and so forth, and there's a lot of that going on, I'm sure. So
if I get the virus for takeout, I'm going to be in trouble. Because I take out all the time.
Well, I tell you what, I've been very pleased with Sisters Takeout, and I've been very pleased with a lot of different people out there that are providing food for us. And, I still would like to go to a restaurant and sit down and eat, but I really am afraid to do it really right now.
Yeah,
what have you been doing?
Well, I cooked lunch for Jody yesterday.
Yeah.
Eggplant casserole, stewed squash, and a combination
and
of cucumber.
And they came out of your garden?
And a combination of cucumber, tomatoes, and onion in that little apple.
Well, yesterday, not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, Sisters had white peas and butter beans that were out of the garden.
And I cooked a blackberry cobbler yesterday.
You did? Oh,
yes,
man. Oh, man.
Well,
let me tell you what I did yesterday that makes it real good. And hear this. I went by and bought to your favorite hamburger place.
Jack's?
Not Jack's, but for breakfast, the best biscuits around. Hardee's. Well, Hardee's has got a little sale going on right now that I recommend. Go buy you some vanilla ice cream, and then go buy Hardee's and get apple pies, 2 for $1. 2 for $1, hot apple pies from Hardee's. I bought 6 yesterday, and I put some of them in the refrigerator. But I got that hot, put that apple pie in the microwave, put some vanilla ice cream on it. But I'm talking about, that's for the money, 2 for $1 apple pies from Hardee's.
Well, I had a big treat yesterday morning. A fella invited me to go eat breakfast with him at downtown on the square, Bird's Drugs.
Yeah, that's right.
The deli. Had a little bit of bacon, a little bit of sausage, a little bit of toast, and a sun-dropped Coca-Cola. I mean, a soda pop.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. I love Bird's Drugs.
I can't remember the last time I've had a sun drop.
Yeah,
they're great. Put a little bit of lime.
I'll tell you something the other day I had, too, that I hadn't had in a long time, was the diet Dr. Pepper was really good for a change,
Yeah, for a diet drink, that's the best.
But I'll tell you what I like, too, though. I like I'm a big diet ginger ale guy, and that's a good refreshing drink. The diet ginger ale.
I have to try that.
Yeah.
I drink a lot. I drink a lot of ginger ale.
Yeah. We hope that you're enjoying our show. Brought to you by Max Federal Credit Union on the bypass, and boy, they are busy, and the economy is coming back, and with it are these strong banks that we have in our area. And of course, I want to remind you right now that if you're looking for a great drugstore, no question about it, Bird Drugs is one of the great drugstores in our part of the country. And as I said, their food for breakfast and lunch is delicious. They don't have a lot of seating arrangements, but hey, it's another good place to go, to get something to go and feed your family. And of course, we appreciate Piggly Wiggly with their wonderful poultry and their. I bought a bunch of ears of corn and had some of that corn last night.
That's where I shopped last night for my ingredients.
Where can I get Silver Queen corn? I need some Silver Queen corn. Somebody call up and tell me where to get it. I'm having a hard time finding Silver Queen corn.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll hop in the truck and we'll ride around until we find us a patch.
That's right. And of course, I bought corn yesterday. But let me tell you this: it's a difference in biting into a piece of corn on the cob, which I love, and getting some corn out. But you bite into a Silver Queen, you bite into that cob and just get a mouthful of corn. Delicious corn is that Silver Queen corn made by well, it actually came out of Auburn, Alabama. Did you know that?
I did not.
Silver Queen, scientists from the Auburn University came up with that, and now that's what everybody wants, is that delicious Silver Queen corn.
So that's the best thing ever to come out of Auburn, Alabama?
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. It's Silver Queen corn. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, nothing better than a good glass of ice cold tea. People ask me, about their kids losing weight or not gaining weight during the summer. Well, the worst thing you can do now, back when I was growing up, your mama made sweet tea by the gallon, Mike, a gallon jug. It was always a gallon jug of tea on the table when you sat down to eat a summer's meal, whether it was peas and corn or fried chicken and mashed potatoes, whatever. You had a big old gallon jug of sweet tea with lemon, of course. All right. The problem was old Junior had come in, and he'd been playing outside or mowing the grass or whatever, and he is thirsty, so he grabs that big old glass of tea and he just chugs it down, and then he'll grab pour him another cup and chug it down. He don't have any room for regular food.
And then you got all that tea stains going down your white T-shirt.
Well, and also he drank all that tea. How in the world do you expect him to gain weight, because he's already filled up with tea before he starts eating?
Well, our staple was Kool-Aid. That's what we had around the house.
And had a gallon jug of it.
Kool-Aid, yeah.
And of course, but back then, you should just wait a little bit on drinking your tea, but go ahead and eat your food and then add your tea.
Right, and a favorite thing that I can remember is cut up fried chicken, and my daddy taught me how to cut up a chicken with the wishbone as well.
Yeah, exactly, and the back and the gizzard and the liver. Hey, I got scars all over.
What is a back and a gizzard and a lizard?
Yeah.
I heard that.
I know. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize that that's my son right there. Bless his heart. He's never eaten a chicken that was cut up the right way.
Well, when we ate, the kids went last.
Yeah.
And what was left might be a drumstick.
Yeah.
The back would be left.
Well, I've got
maybe a wing.
Let's just say that's the fried chicken on Sunday. Now, we always had fried chicken on Sunday. I got scars all over my hand where I would be reaching for that last piece, and my brother would stab me with a doggone fork.
You talking about Joel?
Yeah, same on him.
Chris yesterday.
And then, of course, if I was ever mad at anybody during the day, waking up and having to go to school, I would take the cereal box and I'd stick it right here, and I'd just hide behind it until I got time to go to school. I didn't want to look at my brother. I didn't want to look at anybody because I didn't want to go because I was sleepy.
I read.
Have you ever hid behind the cereal box?
I'd get the cereal box and I'd read everything on it, the ingredients, where it was made, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's a good question. What time were you supposed to be in Montgomery every day for work when you went for 26 years?
8 o'clock, usually 8 o'clock, but I wasn't there always at 8 o'clock. I'd probably be moving in there about 8:30. Yeah, I didn't do the things I probably should have done, but I found out later that I could what we would call different times. What would you say? One guy got here at 8, one guy here at 8:30 or whatever. What do we call that?
It's staggering.
Staggering, exactly. And then so I might not get in till 8:30, and then some people might have got in at 7:30, but they got to leave at 4:30. So right. Right. But that was
the amazing thing is he always was there in time to coach practice.
Well, and I'll go officiate the basketball game. I worked with good people, and I'm sure I might have took advantage of the system, and I apologize. But
Dad always told me the most important thing to ever have when you work one day is an office with a door that shuts.
Yeah, exactly. No one does.
He was the Costanza of the 60s.
It'll be a minute.
Where you can close your eyes and take a nap.
It'll be many a day when somebody would walk in and our receptionist would say, I'd like to see Mike Amos. Well, she could have probably rightfully said, well, he's back in his office taking a nap.
He was the Costanza of the 60s.
Or wait a minute, let me go see if he can see visitors or whatever.
Yeah, I thought about you a lot when I worked at the University of Alabama. I was managing the Bryant Conference Center, and I had an office with a door that shut and locked. And I'd go in and I'd work from 6 to 2:30. Sometimes I'd go in from 5:30 and get off at 2. But I would take naps every once in a while as well.
Well, let me just say this. Spent a lot of time on the road too, and and spending a lot of hours I didn't get paid for.
Didn't they say these big thinkers, these just genius people, would get together and talk, and they would just lay in the floor and throw ideas off each other?
Yeah. We were talking the other day about, I used to do a lot of public speaking in my work, and I'd speak to different groups, and a lot of time I'd come on it would be my time to speak right after lunch. And, we were always dressed. I dressed up every day to go to work, and, coat and tie and whatever, and I had a lot of different ties and all that. And the first thing I would say, good afternoon. I hope y'all enjoyed your lunch today. Somebody asked me what I had for lunch. I said, I had a hamburger with ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise, pointing to my tie.
Yeah.
And I've lost many a good tie with a greasy thing of mayonnaise or ketchup and mustard. But it used to tickle me. Say, what did you have for lunch?
That really is something I don't know a lot more restaurants, especially high-end or even just meat and threes. Why don't they give you an apron option?
Yeah.
So you don't ruin clothes.
And you know what? And it would be a great fundraiser to have Alabama, Auburn, Troy, what do you call them again?
Aprons.
Aprons, yeah. It'd be a good fundraiser.
There you go.
Or adult bibs.
Yeah. But let me ask this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. What if you were eating barbecue chicken and you had one napkin? Is that going to be enough? Heck no, it's not going to be enough if you eat barbecue. Finger licking good,
My favorite thing to eat is hot wings, probably. I love wings more than anything. Smoked wings, fried wings. And I don't know how many napkins or paper towels.
Well, and what I do too, ladies and gentlemen, and forgive me if I'm eating chicken or barbecue chicken, I'm grabbing it up like this, and I'm wiping it off. That's like eating like Robin Hood. Eat that big old piece of chicken and wiping it off. It's called eating like Robin Hood.
The Dixie Stampede. You ever eaten at the Dixie Stampede up there in Gatlinburg?
Oh yeah, I know where it is.
You would eat with your hands and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And Jody and I, when we got married, we went on our honeymoon there, and we went to the Dixie Stampede. I said, Jody, let's be the last ones there. Let's be the last ones going into the arena. Well, we were the last two seated, and we got to post the flags for the South or the North who won, the rodeo competition.
Yeah, exactly.
But we ate. They had chicken and corn on the cob. You had to eat with your hands.
Yeah.
There was no forks or nothing.
I know, that's amazing. Yeah, exactly. That's eating like Robin Hood or whatever. One thing I have done, my wife has really been a stickler on washing your hands and using the face mask and all those things. They are, it's what we're supposed to be doing and doing it right. But seeing a lot of good movies and because there's nowhere else to go. The people that have been hit probably as hard as anybody are these movie theaters not being able to be open. Just think of those people though that own or the movie industry, how it's been hurt quite a bit.
There's no movies.
Yeah, exactly.
No new movies. No soap operas.
Not being able to hear live music has been the toughest for me. My wife and I love to go hear music, and that's really nice.
Well, I probably have, ladies and gentlemen, and I can go out and I can say several things, 10 or 15 things this morning that I can say I've got maybe better than anybody else. Well, I've got the best tapes on 50s and 60s music as anybody in the country. And I love to ride down the road, turning it up, just me and the cab of my truck, listening to great beach music. I love beach music, or all these great songs out there. And then when I get home, my wife said, "Can't you hear? Can't you hear?" And I would have gotten out of my truck and walked to my house and left my radio on full blast. But I love that old music. It makes me feel young again. But some people, they get enough of it,
Right. Now that's my favorite music, the 50s and the 60s.
And of course, and I've seen you do your show before, ladies and gentlemen. The Blues Brothers, and you're old Belushi, is that right?
I'm Jake Blues.
Yeah.
But Mike Hall, when he was the principal at Charleston Middle School, and David Helms was the assistant principal for about 2 or 3 years, we did a talent show.
Yeah.
Well, one year I did opened up doing Peace in the Valley.
Yeah.
Elvis Presley. I'm so lonesome.
So give us a little of that right now.
Well.
Go ahead, you can do it. There's that peace.
Well, I'm tired and so weary, but I must go alone till the Lord comes and calls me away. And then I'd sing Hank Williams.
I love it. That's the kind of talent we have on this show.
That lonesome whippoorwill, he sounds too blue to fly. That midnight train is winding low. Then I'd sing,
I'm so lonesome I could die.
I got a star on my car and one on my chest, a gun on my hip and the right to arrest. I'm the guy who's the boss on this highway. That was Gene Brown.
Yeah, I love it.
Then I'd end up with the blues, and then I'd do the Blues Brothers. Then I'd say, well, I'd get off the stage. I said, well, Forrest, he sure loves Jody, and he loves box of chocolates. And I'd do a Forrest Gump thing and leave the stage.
But I tell you what, this guy's an entertainer. A lot of people haven't seen it before, but I have, and it's really good. Now, the Blues Brothers, what would your main song be?
We did Hey Bartender, Soul Man, Sweet Home Chicago.
Do a little Soul Man for us.
Let's see.
I know you can do it.
I'm a soul man. I got what I got the hard way. True loving each and every day. So, honey, I've got to have the sunglasses on.
Soul Man, Soul Man is a good bop song. Where it goes,
Sweet Home Chicago, Cell Block number 9.
Who's your partner doing all this day? Now,
to begin with, it was Ken Johnson. He was a police officer at the time. He and our fraternity brothers, but we did it several times, and then Bill Gospel and I've done it.
Well, see, the thing is, Mike knows Bill Gospel. He helped him graduate.
And, but when they won the first national championship, Bill Gospel and I dressed as the Blues Brothers and went to Patterson Field drove up in my 1964 Buick Electra 225 hardtop. We first got to Montgomery. We drove to the neighborhood above the stadium, walked through the yard, and we started having sheets that we were holding for people to see. The first, we chase Troy State baseball.
Yeah.
You know, when the Blues Brothers are on a mission from God.
Yeah, yeah.
Our sheet said we're on a mission from Ralph Adams.
Yeah,
The winning combination, Adams, R.E. Stewart, Robert Earl Stewart, and Chase Riddle.
Yeah.
And so then we got back in the car, drove around. We took pictures with the Amos family.
Yeah.
And in front of my big old blue Electra 225, I still wish I had.
He must have been rich.
No, I just got lucky. I sold them all when I got married. So Bill and I walked in the stadium, and I had a baseball glove. He had a briefcase, and between innings, we would walk up and down the, you know, between the lower section and upper section, and have that sheet. And we took pictures with Judy Stevens, you know, Catfish's aunt.
Exactly.
Grady was too nervous to go.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to jump the field.
Loved old Grady, yeah.
I wanted to jump the field, although, you know, while they were doing the ceremonies, but I didn't want to be tackled by a police officer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But, you know, I've given those pictures to Mark Smart and Bobby Pearson, all of them. When they had their 25th, they wanted us to come back, but I couldn't get anybody to go with me to do the.
Well, I tell you, it's amazing the talent this man has, and of course he's a pretty good cook too. Of course, were you going to open up a bake shop somewhere?
Well, I don't know.
I noticed that one of your thumbs got hit by you hammered the wrong nail, didn't you?
No, what I did is I pulled the cord on my tiller.
Yeah.
Plowed my garden. And I slipped and popped and hit me in the thumb. And it was way down here, but it's about to leave now.
Mike, I don't know why this happened, but you never hear it happening anymore. How many times you ever heard of somebody closing the door on their hand? Have you ever heard that?
Not in a long time.
Over the years.
One of my really good friends did that growing up at First Baptist Church. Andy Fulham lost half his finger.
But what I'm saying, for some reason, you used to hear about somebody getting the door slammed on the hand or foot, but you don't see it much. You know, I still say the best invention out there, and I reckon I should knock on wood, is you know, compared to when I was growing up. You know, we had all the tires. Most all the tires there were tube tires, and when they did away with the tube tires and made tubeless tires. You didn't hear of near as many blowouts on the road. When I was growing up, there was all the time you heard of somebody having a blowout and wrecking the car and getting somebody killed. But now, thanks to technology, for the last 25, 30 years, or maybe even 40 years, you know, whoever invented the tubeless tire saved a lot of lives. Don't you agree?
Exactly. You know, I can't remember the last time I've had one, but I remember Mother having a blowout.
And how many flat tires? Exactly.
With a carload of kids.
That's right. And I had I've had friends. I lived on Highway 231 on Orion Street, which was Highway 231, which went all the way from Chicago all the way to Miami Beach, you know. And a lot of traffic came by there. But back then, a filling station, you know, people say, what happened to filling stations? The tubeless tire. Because filling stations for years had their own little tire operation where they fix your tires. You had to pull in there, or they'd come out on the road and fix your tire out there at the scene or whatever. But that's what happened to the filling station. You know, you used to buy gas and somebody would wash your windshield and check your oil. Well, back then oil was a big deal. Do you ever even think about oil much anymore?
I try to on my truck because it's about 12 years old. And but
thank you, sir.
When I was at South Alabama in graduate school in '83 and '84, there was a Shell station downtown Mobile off of Government Street that you pulled in, and they still would pump you gas and all that kind of stuff. And you know, the elderly. Just think of the elderly people in Troy. If you had a service station that did self-service, or any big city, they would drive there so they wouldn't have to get out of their car and all that kind of stuff. But the gas was a little bit higher, but you got the service to offset filling up your tank.
Yeah. Has anybody out there got a plumb?
Hey, you want to take a break?
Yeah, we will. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back with more of Today in LA. We're having fun.
Touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
We've been doing business the right way for 31 years, and now we've approached a year at the all-new Bill Jackson Ford. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
I would recommend Bill Jackson to friends and family. Environment was just friendly.
It's a short drive from anywhere.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
A person.
We were really going to talk about something.
Yeah. Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Just missed my little granddaughter that just took off to go to school. Of course, they live in Grayton Beach, Florida, which is one of the more beautiful places in the country. Mike, of course, right now the tourist industry is sort of pretty good for where y'all are. Is that right?
Everybody says that I talk to in the restaurants and different bars and stuff that I have friends that work out down here. Everybody says record numbers.
Yeah. So, and how about the red?
Everybody's making up for lost time, it sounds like.
Of course, the 4th of July, y'all got a lot planned for the 4th of July down there?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have a big, Grayton Beach has a 4th of July parade that the girls will probably be in.
Yeah.
And then we'll have my mother-in-law down and cousins next door, and we'll go see the fireworks going out at Seaside on the bars probably, and then...
well, you know, there's some places...
Watch other fireworks down in Destiny.
That's what I'm fixing to say. There's several places that you could see the fireworks all the way down the beach. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right. We're actually going this weekend. My wife and I are taking a trip to the mountains. We're looking forward to.
Where are you going in the mountains, Mike? Let's see if we got some people that know where this is.
Blue Ridge, Georgia, which is right on the Tennessee-North Carolina line.
Is that right near Helen, Georgia, that area?
Or Chattanooga?
It's actually closer to Chattanooga. Yeah, it's closer to Chattanooga. We'll go through Rome, Georgia to get there.
Yeah, I got
90 miles directly north from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So that's where it is.
Jody and I one year went to the Little River Canyon, to Mentone, DeSoto State Park, and then on the way back we went to Mount Cheahaw.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it was unreal. That's the first time I'd been.
That's right.
That'd be Lookout Mountain if you're in Mentone.
That's right. And
my wife grew up going to camp at Mentone her whole life. They have boys and girls.
Yeah, that's right. They have something like 80 camps at one time in Mentone, and of course that's up from Valley Head and Fort Payne.
Well, what's the largest?
Alabama's from.
What's the largest point in Alabama? You can see.
Cheahaw's the largest.
See, on the way back we stopped there.
Yeah.
And then we left there and we came down the mountain through all those beautiful roads around.
Right, during the foliage time, during the foliage season, and I've been up there before where it got so cold that you couldn't come down. You had to spend an extra night up there before.
There's a hotel on top of Cheahaw Mountain. I've stayed there before. The Blue Ridge Parkway there, it's the start of the Appalachian Trail where we're staying. So there's mountains over there close to 5,000 feet. So
they're
Blue Ridge. Actually, the Blue Ridge town we're staying in is 1,800 feet.
Yeah. I want to mention that Pond Stocker is one of our newest sponsors, Perfecting Your Pond, and we're talking about refurbishing your pond with fish, or fertilizing your pond, putting overall pond care, and of course they've also have these beautiful fountains they can put in your pond. Is that right?
I believe the owner is Jet Trotter. His business is on the Shellhorn Road. He's a local person. And Jim Mullis
Yeah.
Works for him part-time, and everybody knows Jim Mullis. His mother was Wilma, Miss Wilma.
Oh, yeah, everybody knows Jim, no question about it.
Jim just turned 65 the other day.
Did he? Well, I wanted to run out there and see him this morning out at the Pike County Lake. A lot of my good friends, including Forrest, works part-time at Pike County Lake. And I've said this so many times for you guys out there with grandchildren or children, and it's so easy to take them fishing out of the Pike County Lake. And, even if it's just with a cane pole and a few crickets and dropping off your pier, you're fishing.
Oh, the weather was beautiful yesterday.
Yeah, exactly right.
It was nice. The humidity was low.
And make you some, last night I had the best banana sandwich, But bananas are good right when they get off the green, turning the yellow, that they're still solid. Well, I was able to cut that banana up and put it on some wheat bread and got Duke's mayonnaise. You like Duke's mayonnaise?
Well, my wife loves Hellman's, but I like Duke's.
I like Duke's because...
Yeah, we're addicted to Duke's.
That Duke's with a banana sandwich is really, really good. And, of course, I had one last night, and it really was good.
Is Duke's Alabama made?
I don't know. I was wondering where Duke's came from.
Okay.
They're famous because it's an oil, olive oil. It's got olive oil in it. And it is really...
My brother-in-law's from North Myrtle Beach, right on the North Carolina-South Carolina line. And I tell him all the time, that's the best thing you ever introduced me to was Duke's mayonnaise.
Another thing in Carolina, one of the... my son-in-law's a gourmet cook. I tell you, he's as good as you'll get. White barbecue sauce. Are you familiar with that?
Is that Big Bob's? Who makes it?
Well, I don't know who makes it, but
they have white barbecue sauce he makes out of Carolina.
Okay.
Out of the Carolina, but it's a white sauce.
Out of Birmingham, they have Miss Myers does a white sauce, and then Big Bob's Gibson and Gator does a white sauce.
Yeah. The best pork chop in town to go is Sunny South. Best prices on gas, great people. I tell you, I've known Jimmy Norman all my life, played ball with him, and he's the owner of Sunny South, and his son, to me, is one of the best people I know. And they've got a pork chop right now on their list of many good things. But pork chops and biscuits are one of their prime items. Wow. Is that right?
They've got it all.
Yeah.
Anything for breakfast you want, they have it.
Yeah.
Jimmy and Martha, I just love being around them. They'll get after each other.
Well, and Clint, of course, you're talking about a good athlete.
Clint and Trey and Natalie.
Yeah, and Natalie, of course, her husband owns the and of course, what a great place that. Yeah, great place to eat. But great people, and they've got great food for you. You can't sit there. You have to get it to go. But their biscuits and their sausage and their bacon and pork chops are just becoming famous. You hardly get in the store almost.
Their oldest son's, I believe, a lawyer in the Prattville, Montgomery area.
That's right, sure is. And I watched them all grow up. Jimmy Norman, and I hope he's watching this morning, is one of the best athletes that's ever come through Pike County.
His mother was Miss Grace, and Daddy was Mr. Jim Tom. Right. Had that little cigar, drove a little green Nova.
And let me tell you another little story about it. A good friend of mine is an attorney in Elba, who is Merle Shirley, played cornerback at Auburn, under Sugar Jordan. And he and Jimmy Shirley and Jerry Shirley and Jimmy Norman all are first cousins.
Is that the Shirley who owns Home Oil?
No. Okay. This was the Shirley that owns Shirley Ford.
Okay.
Floyd Shirley Ford.
Okay.
Now I know the Shirleys that are Home Oil. And that was the furniture Shirley's in Troy. They had Shirley Furniture store. But here, they all came out of Goshen. They probably were related, and I don't know that, But great people, and we appreciate them so much. And also, I want to say good morning to all of our friends that are in the nursing home and are shut in, and the Lord wants us to do things that are pleasing to Him. We'll do something to help somebody that's needy, like people that are shut in.
Yes, Mike. Is it in the paper? The city of Troy, I believe, is fixing to honor the 5A state basketball champions of Charles Henderson High School.
In fact, I read about that today.
It was yesterday. Okay.
And congratulations to that.
I think they'll do real well next year.
See, and I'm wondering about it. Where do they go?
They've lost a little bit of height, but I bet you they'll be good.
Where do you go without when you lose a Jones kid like they had for 5 years?
Well, a little guard that probably had 10, 11 points in that championship game. I believe she's just a ninth grader.
Yeah,
but it's like every year there's two.
I have to go down as the greatest dynasty in Charles Henderson sports history, that women's basketball program.
It really was a great program.
For 5 years, they were the most dominant program I can ever remember at Charles Henderson. Maybe baseball winning back-to-back under Irons will be right there with it as well.
I feel like if that hadn't been a glitch year before last and she would have played the whole year, I believe they'd won it all the year before, even though they lost in the Final Four. But Ms. Jones is a sensational person, a great teacher. Her girls, I mean, they represent Charles Henderson, the city of Troy, Pike County. They're just well-rounded and disciplined, and I mean, it's a tribute to her and her staff.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, they lost one championship game. In the championship game, they were up by 5, weren't they, Dad?
That's right.
A minute left and still got beat.
Yeah.
Did more.
That would have been another state championship.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're great players, no question about it, and very well coached. And I tell you something about them. And I asked this to Coach Cross when he first came here. I said, "Can your team shoot free throws? You show me a team that can shoot free throws, I'll show you a team that's going to win a lot of games, because." First of all, you're scoring when the clock is off. So what you're doing, you're staying close to somebody by being able to shoot free throws. And if you come in there and shooting 70% free throw line and the opponent is shooting 40%, you got a chance to win.
Well, if you lose by 4 and you're 5 from 17 from the line,
exactly right.
You could have won the game.
Exactly right.
You know, a free throw shooting.
As bad shooting free throws as University of Alabama's basketball team. They really shoot.
And you would think that everybody ought to be able to shoot free throws because it takes practice, you know.
That's all about the same thing, same over. But you did some of the best free throw shooters. The top 5, I bet you 2 of them or 3 of them were underhanded. Rick Berry.
That's right.
Bob Cousy. And was Calvin Murphy, did he do it too?
I don't know, but Calvin Murphy was only 5'6" or 5'7", you know.
He's the greatest free throw shooter ever. Murphy is. For
Calvin Murphy, okay, I didn't know that.
Played for Houston, I believe.
And he played the college ball. How about this? He played the college ball for Niagara. But he was real short and he could dunk it. Did you know that? He was about 5'6" or 5'7" and he could dunk it.
Spud Webb.
But Muggsy Bogues couldn't dunk, but Spud Webb could.
Yeah, listen, y'all may not believe it, but I mean, in my backyard, I could dunk all the time, but my goal was about 7.5, 8 foot. That's the reason I can't wall to net dunk so many times.
Hope that you're enjoying our show. We'll be back in one moment today in L.A., and there goes my guy, running.
That's
we
Scott.
Appreciate it.
Big Scott.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
We've been doing business the right way for 31 years, and now we've approached a year at the all-new Bill Jackson Ford. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
I would recommend Bill Jackson to friends and family. Environment was just friendly.
It's a short drive from anywhere.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Back to our show located on at our studios located on South Bundy Street in Troy, Alabama. I'm Mike Amos, a local loudmouth, and over here is my good friend Forrest Lee, former teacher, coach, and member of one of the great groups of all time, the Righteous Brothers.
The Blues Brothers.
The Blues Brothers.
Close your eyes anymore. That's the Righteous Brothers, isn't it?
He can sing all these songs for us this morning. Run, 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 Forrest, run.
I tell you what,
Does anybody ever call you Forrest, or does everybody call you Coach?
Coach. The kids call me Coach.
Farley.
Okay, tell me again your name, because I wish I knew how many kids total I've taught in my life, because when you have physical education, you have every one of them.
Did you know I still get a lot of coaches, people calling me Coach, over the years, and a lot of them have grown up and they have grandchildren and they're calling me Coach, you know.
Yeah, Joel Williams is on the show a lot. He calls you Coach.
A lot of people over the years, and I enjoyed coaching and being around the kids, and of course I've been around Troy folks, and I like, if I want something I'll be remembered for one day, would be that a love of my community.
I coached a little league team in Manchester, Georgia. I helped coach, and we were very young in that league, and the team that won it were like a year or two older. Well, we got drummed every game. I mean, we started playing better and better. So the last game of the year, the winning team always ran the bases. Always ran the bases. So the last game of the year, this little boy, I was talking to him. He said, "Coach, can we run the bases?" I said, "Run them and slide when you get home."
Yeah, exactly.
They never got to run the bases. You know, this little kid said, "Coach, can we please run the bases?"
Mike, let me ask you this. Of course, Mike came around with a leading cup ball player. He was a great cup ball player. You know who those were? They were the kids that were playing underneath the grandstands while we watched the baseball game with Chase Riddle. But and he played cup ball. But wouldn't it have been great, Mike, if Chase Riddle would have said, "All right, guys, at the end of every game we win, I want to let y'all run the bases." Now, wouldn't you have loved to have run the bases back then?
Well, they do it at every Braves game.
I know, but Troy bases, just run the bases, you know.
You know, I'll tell you a funny cup ball story one time. We were all out there playing cup ball. It was probably me and Tommy Lucas and Jimmy Lucas and Britt Baker and Blake Crow. Well, Blake Crow was a bat boy, so he might have been not out there playing with us, and probably some other people I'm leaving out. But Bo Jackson walked out of the dugout.
Yeah, to go to the bathroom.
Everybody had to go to the bathroom. So Bo Jackson comes back, and we sit out there and talk to Bo and get autographs before he goes back into the dugout. but that's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah.
As a little kid, how you would have unbelievable access.
I don't know how Troy got away with that, because they did not have bathrooms in the dugouts. Now they do, you know. And the teams, visiting teams, would have to walk a couple hundred yards to the bathroom.
You know, Brett Baker, he's running a Bonnie Plant store somewhere in Colorado. Yeah. And but his daddy and the Mafia,
the Trojan Mafia.
If I was an opposing baseball player, man, you'd have to just wear earplugs.
Well, I will tell you what, it got so bad they used to call
Easy Oswald and Harry Baker.
Yeah, let me tell you, Troy was a very good baseball program, and so was Jacksonville. Jacksonville State had a great team, and Rudy Abbott. And Rudy Abbott had real skinny legs. You know, he'd walk out to the mound, and they call him bird legs. So Harry Baker and them started calling him bird legs. Well, it got so bad that Rudy wouldn't even go out there. He'd send his assistant coach out to the mound. He didn't want to be seen, because he knew that those guys were going to get on him and stay on him, and they were seating all on the visitor side, and when they walked out to their own deck, those on deck guys were so mad at those guys in the stands that they didn't want to go to the bat. They didn't want to hit the ball.
When I was
Mr. Dunn was one of them.
Who? Oh yeah, Gardner Dunn, and
he would always have a can of possum in his pocket.
Oh yeah.
Homer Anderson, Roy Crow. You had Nelson Fowler.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys.
Bill, Mama's boss, Billy. Carroll was there, and there was a bunch of guys. All they came and supported Troy baseball. Joe Dotson and Heldon Fallon, all those folks.
As a physical education teacher at Troy University, a student, I took theory and technique of volleyball under Ginger Sprague. I took theory and technique of baseball under Chase Riddle.
Yeah.
He taught a little class, and I took a class theory and technique of football under Charlie Bradshaw.
Yeah. Oh man!
Buddy, when he was talking, I was just sitting up straight. And there's this one kid wasn't doing right in class. He wasn't paying attention to Coach Bradshaw. Coach Bradshaw called him up to the front of the class. He said, "Students, I'm going to teach y'all a little technique here," and he gave him a
shiver. He could have gotten sued. This day and time, he'd been sued for all he got.
And I knew something was going to go on. But when Coach Riddle, he was having us on the field, it was like,
oh yeah,
you were in awe of his demeanor, his atmosphere. His stature, his charisma.
Yeah.
And when you go to a baseball game, if you saw Coach Riddle get riled up, and I only seen him get riled up maybe once or twice. I said, it's fixing to go on now. He would come down to that plate,
I tell you what he's done, what Riddle used to do, he used to get kicked out on purpose. Because these umpires were scared to kick him out. This guy's the Bear Bryant of baseball. This guy, they were, and there was a young official one day, and it was a play at second base, and Coach Riddle came out and was raising Cane, and people were wondering, said, "Golly, he sure is staying out there a long time." And he told the umpire, he said, "Now I don't care what you do, I want you to throw me out of the game." And sure enough, he threw him out of the game, and Coach Riddle took his cigarettes and walked down the third baseline, and they kicked him out of the game. And I knew the umpire had asked him. He said, "Well, he told me to kick him out of the game, and if Chase Riddle ever tells you something, you do it." He was in control of the umpires like he was the players. But you know something.
That's funny. Coach Riddle, I do remember that during games, he coached third base. He didn't always coach third base. He did it early in his career. And we would go to the fence over there before innings. He'd come over there and talk to us.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes he might walk out and take a cigarette break. You know?
That's typical,
What number did he wear?
25.
25.
So the story on Bobby Pierce, when he was a high school coach, he had ragtag jerseys at the high school team that he coached. Well, the last jersey, he took the last jersey, which was the worst one, and Kay had to sew it up.
Yeah.
It was number 25. So he wore 25 all his career. So when he gets named the baseball coach at Troy, said, "Coach, you can't wear that number."
I know.
They said, "Well, just change it around." 52. 52. So that's the story behind that.
Yeah.
Is what he told me.
I see Pierce down here at the beach every once in a while at restaurants.
Yeah. He's very good coach. He really retired at a young age, and he should have got the Alabama job. That was his alma mater. Somebody really missed the boat. He'd still be their coach, and their program would be a top 10 program.
Well, Johnny Williams would have stayed at Alabama under Mal Moore.
Yeah.
I think you would have seen Pierce get that job, and he was going to get the job. Yeah. But, the coach at Alabama at the time, I'm drawing blank on his name, that had all the great teams, decided to retire. And then all of a sudden, at the last minute, he changed his mind and came back to coach.
When Pierce was going to get the job, he was wanting his assistant to get it. So he decided to come back for one more year. And during that year, he went ahead and hired his assistant coach while he was still coaching.
Yeah,
and that's what happened.
Mitch Gaspar got the job instead of.
But Bobby Pierce was good enough to be the head baseball coach. No question about it.
And you know who Ginger Sprague is married to?
Yeah, to one of the best coaches ever, QV Lowe.
QV Lowe.
No question about it. Would like to say this about QV Lowe, Mike. Of course, he's retired now. They say he still comes to the games and everything. But the Renfro kid, Mike, had been signed by Auburn Montgomery to play baseball. That's quite an honor for that Pike Liberal Arts shortstop.
Yeah, that's Quinn Renfro's son, and he transferred from Brantley to play Liberal Arts and won a state championship in play Liberal Arts, and now is at A&M. So,
and I tell you, a good program there, no question.
How would you like to be in a fishing boat all day with Chase Little?
Yeah. Well, I've been in a lot of
Bobby Pierce.
You've been in a lot of fish fries.
Let me just say this: I was one of his closest friends, and I just was so humbled to be around him. You know, he was just such a great guy. And let me just say this: when I was a kid growing up, I used to see he and Betty together, and let me tell you something. Let me tell you, they look like Hollywood movie stars. I mean, there old Chase is. Look, I mean, racehorse legs, big old muscles, just piping out. And then his wife, Betty, looked like a movie star. And they were two of the finest people. She was a second-grade teacher for a long time.
Didn't Wes just get married, his grandson?
I don't know, but I think so. Maybe so, yeah.
Wes.
But I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, have a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, we are reminiscing on some wonderful events that have happened to us over the years, and I hope you've enjoyed hearing from us this day. And of course, we got the baker here, and if you want him to bake you a cake, just call Forrest today.
I am the cake
and you want to tell him to call you if you want a cake baked.
Well,
we'll start our own bakery here on our show.
2680738.
Or if you would want Forrest to sing happy birthday to somebody that's having a birthday this morning, happy birthday to you. See you tomorrow.
All right.